We begin our 2024 newsreel with a visit to the village of Roughlee and the village production of the pantomime Cinderella, held at Roughlee Village Hall the second week of January and led by the director Juliana Wilson.
So Polly comes on first.
You came on first, didn't you?
Yeah. Polly comes on first.
Following a fortnight of rehearsals, the cast and crew were ready for their opening evening on Friday the 12th of January.
Hello everybody.
Hello.
I said hello everybody. Hello. That's more like it. Now, my name's Buttons and I'm Baron Hardup's butler, or should I say General Dog's Body. Not that I'm complaining, I've had worse jobs. My last job was working at a Tiddlywinks factory, but it was counterproductive. And then
Thank you.
Hello, there you are. These browns weigh a ton.
My feet are killing me. These shoes pinch my toes.
You've got them on the wrong feet.
These feet are the only ones I've got.
Off you go.
But I can't go to the ball dressed in rags.
Oh, I forgot about that. Okay. Ella needs a stunning dress. Versace would be great. Something that will woo the prince when they're on their date. I waved my wand all around and cast a magic spell. You shout out, Abracadabra! And all will turn out well. It's beautiful.
Cinderella played to a packed village hall and had great audience support throughout the several performances made over that weekend. Following the performances, Burnley filmmakers caught up with Juliana to ask her how the pantomime came about.
Well, Chris and I, it's my husband and I, moved up to the village in 2000, and we've always done a lot of Amdram, so I always wanted to start up a panto from scratch in an area that hadn't done it before, and it was the perfect opportunity.
And how did you manage to get the whole village involved in this?
Well, we had a meeting with the Village Centre Committee and they gave us the green light to go ahead and have this panto. So we had a meeting with as many people as possible. We invited everybody to come along and we chatted about the panto and got some excitement going, and they really embraced it. Everyone was super excited right from the get-go. So I literally had people saying, yes, I'll have roles, without me actually having to pursue anybody. So it was it was a gift for a director.
And did everything go to plan on the big night?
By and large, yes. On the night that you actually recorded it, it went extremely well. A couple of times before, we did have one incident where one of our ugly sisters forgot to bring her knickers on, and that really did cause a bit of an issue. But we were fine on the Saturday, so it all went swimmingly.
So can you tell us, Jules, what's next for the cast and the crew of the Roughlee Village Pantomime Group?
Well, my goodness, that is a good question. I think we're all having a well-deserved rest at the moment, but certainly there is a growing desire to do something again. So we now need to think about the perfect script and see where that road takes us, I think.
The Winterbloom 24 festival took place in Colne Town Centre on the 24th of February. Starting off at noon with an artisan market and street food, the colourful light parade began at the stroke of 6 from the town hall clock. The parade started from St John's Church on the High Street and ended at Colne bus station. The illuminated figures were made by Handmade Productions based in Hebden Bridge and featured giant animals and puppets, with music provided by Fat Cat Brass and a jazz orchestra. This year's festival was the third year of the event, which began after the COVID-19 outbreak, and this year involved the Building Bridges Pendle project, Handmade Productions and the Local Education Partnership. Colne's Winter Bloom 24 was a spectacular evening, and one that these youngsters will probably never forget. On Sunday the 24th of March, the new Horticultural Academy was opened at Fennyfold in Padiham. The academy took 3 months to build, on a vacant allotment next to the Fennyfold Community Garden, whose volunteers, led by Jean Hanson, look after the facilities and run advice sessions and classes for adults and young people on growing your own fruit and vegetables. Lead volunteer Jean Hanson welcomed the Mayor and Mayoress of Padiham to open the new academy.
I want to thank you all for being so inspirational, supporting our plant sales and encouraging local people to come from knee-high to a grasshopper to old fogies like me, and we really enjoy being out here in nature. And finally, this space is not ours, it's yours. So if you've got an event, a club, a little community that you want to celebrate, use this facility. It's free of charge. You can use any of it anytime you want to. So I hope you will book it for a birthday or an anniversary in the future. Now, I've got the great responsibility of introducing you to our Mayor, and that makes me so proud, you know, because the Town Council give us an awful lot, and they do support us here financially too. So I'm going to hand you over to Peter to officiate the opening.
Thank you, Jean. It's great to be in this wonderful garden run by yourself and all your community volunteers. Padiham is very lucky, I think, to have this safe space, this garden space, whatever you want to call it. It's absolutely fantastic. Moving forward, it's got the academy now, and moving forward it's got this fantastic classroom. A big thank you must also go out to the Lancashire Environmental Fund, who kindly donated money to complete the project, which was absolutely fantastic of them as well. I hope the good folk of Padiham, young and old, support and learn, and going forward create their own little spaces up here as well. So it is my great pleasure, and I'm going to ask you to do it with me, to declare this outdoor classroom open and make many more green fingers in Padiham.
So this morning we've been at Padiham Community Gardens at Fenny. We've had a wonderful morning. I'd like to say thank you to all the volunteers for everything they do here. It's fantastic for the kids. They've all been here this morning enjoying themselves, playing. It's been an absolute pleasure to come up and join in with everybody of Padiham. Keep using Padiham Community Garden at Fenny. It's a good place to be.
The village of Trawden is unique, being the first village in the country to own its own library, post office, shop, community centre and pub. In recognition of this, on April 10th, Her Royal Highness the Princess Royal visited the village of Trawden. The day of the visit was, to say the least, wet. This didn't, however, dampen the spirits of the people, who turned out in force to welcome the Princess. On arrival, Princess Anne was taken to the Trawden Arms, where she was welcomed by Stephen Wilcock BEM and his wife Jane. They then introduced the Princess to the landlord Jamie Hargreaves and his family. It was then across the road to the library and shop. stopping along the way to speak to the rather wet crowd. Again braving the elements, the royal party walked down to the community centre. Where they met several organisations and senior residents of Trawden. After an all too brief visit, she was whisked away to the waiting helicopter to take her back to Scotland.
Was it worth the wait?
Absolutely, yes.
Completely drenched, but worth the wait.
In April 2024, the official opening took place of the new home of the Gawthorpe Textile collection at the recently renovated NorthLight Estates in Brierfield. The collection features some several thousand items, including textiles, embroideries, lace, quilting and costumes from the 18th century onwards. The new base for the collection at NorthLight has more space, better air conditioning and better storage and archiving facilities than the hall could provide, along with a large studio space for visiting groups. The Chairman of Trustees, Lord Charles Shuttleworth, and Amanda Parker, the Lord Lieutenant of Lancashire, gave the welcoming speeches before the official ribbon cutting ceremony took place.
Nice to see you. Members of Parliament, very good to see you all. Thank you for coming tonight. This is our opening event. I'm Chairman of Trustees, and for all of us it's a very exciting time for you to help us. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a superb collection here in the northeast of Lancashire, where it was created and where it belongs. We can't allow it just to be closed up next door, no longer accessible or useful. But like all those businesses and people in the past who have helped us, I hope you, as a community, people and businesses, will support us, perhaps finance us, perhaps partner us in our ambition to make the most of this wonderful asset for the region, so we can create for the future.
Trust. We can ensure together that this exceptional range of items continues to enrich lives and educate generations to come. And I declare it open.
After the official opening had taken place, Burnley filmmakers met with the curator of the collection, Rachel Midgley.
Rachel, could you tell us a little bit about the collection and explain the history of it?
The collection was founded by a lady called Rachel K. Shuttleworth, and she was the last member of the Shuttleworth family to live at Gawthorpe Hall. So she actually started the collection originally as a kind of set of visual aids that she would use when she was giving lectures to local people. And then throughout her lifetime, she built it up into sort of thousands and thousands of objects, mainly through donations. And then after her death in 1967, the collection passed to an independent charity, which is who I work for, and has then grown since her death into about 30,000 items in total.
And could you just tell us why the Trust chose to move to NorthLight?
For decades, the collection was actually housed in the basement at Gawthorpe Hall, which being a 400-year-old building next to a river, it was very, very damp in there. It wasn't ideal collection storage sort of facilities. And it was also very cramped. It meant it was difficult to work in there long term. And so we were really looking for somewhere that would have the space and better conditions for the textiles. And that's what we found in NorthLight. We've been able to have a custom built storage area with new racking that accommodates all of the collection in one room. and also have an amazing studio space where we can run a lot more events and allow more people to come and see the collection.
And could you tell us why the collection itself is so significant?
So one of the things that is really special about this collection is because it started off as a personal collection, but Rachel was very forward thinking in how she collected and why she collected. Rather than it being a vanity collection, she actually really wanted this to be an educational resource for local people. And we really pride ourselves on kind of carrying on that ethos behind her original collection. Even though it's grown a lot since then, we really want people to be able to come and access the collection and use it, and we try to make it as accessible as possible. And it's also quite unique in the area. Although Lancashire has a really strong textile heritage, there are not a lot of big dedicated textile collections across the area. So we're kind of quite uniquely placed to kind of absorb a lot of that textile heritage.
Eventually!
The Clarets Collected archive, based at Burnley Library, was initiated and funded mainly by a group of Burnley supporters in mid-2023, and the collection and its remit has continued to develop throughout 2024, with the appointment of a full-time curator and supported by a team of volunteers, with line management support provided by Lancashire Archives and Lancashire County Council. David Tilsley is the project archivist.
About what people can expect when they come to the archive. Well, yeah, if people pay us a visit, they'll be able to access the collection, so they'll be able to drop in and look at items that we've pulled together that reflect the history of Burnley Football Club. There'll also be an exhibition, and that'll change across the next 2 years relating to the club. There'll be kind of items that have come from behind the scenes that people wouldn't normally get to see, that will be on display. And if people drop in on a match day Saturday, as well as the history and heritage of the club, it'll be very much a family-friendly affair, and there'll be activities for children and younger adults. So we want to make it as much as possible a family thing.
In addition to the archive's collections, Clarets Collected has worked with the local community to put on several exhibitions during the year, along with talks with guest speakers, organised visits from schools, film shows and outreach with Burnley FC in the community. And the group has provided drop-in sessions throughout the season before Burnley FC's home games. One of Clarets Collected's main benefactors is the former chairman of Burnley FC, Barry Kilby.
There is something about where Burnley, the town, identifies with its football club that isn't seen in many places in England. The football club and the town are really in unison together, and I think it's a great thing to look at the past, how it was fantastic looking at the stuff, and I go back to my own dad bringing me when I was like 8 years old, etc. So looking back on the history of this club, which is really something, is really fantastic.
Keith Burrows is the curator of Clarets Collected, and I asked Keith what kind of things supporters had actually donated.
It's a great range of stuff. There's the books as you'd expect, but there's also things like newspaper supplements of the day. We've got a whole range of those from the European Cup 1961 through to Wembley 88, promotion to 2000. There's a whole range of them. They make great reading and research. Talking in the 1960s, we've had lots of scrapbooks donated, including a whole range of ones that go through the whole of the 1960s. Basically the club's glory years. Somebody has taken a great labour of love to put that together, with 4 volumes of those, an invaluable resource.
Clarets Collected has become a focal point for Burnley Football Club supporters, and its work will continue to develop into 2025. The Caravan Gallery Burnley Pride of Place project was an initiative commissioned by Burnley Leisure and Culture and funded by Arts Council England. The objective was to showcase the diversity and creativity of people in Burnley and its surrounding area, a sort of people's gallery where anyone could come along and showcase their work. The gallery would become a growing space that would encourage people to express and share their creativity in a public arena for free. Delivering the Burnley Pride of Place project are artists and photographers Jan Williams and Chris Teasdale. Jan and Chris have toured the world with their Caravan gallery, setting up Pride of Place creative spaces in the UK, from Aberdeen to Southampton, in Europe and even as far as Tokyo. Jan and Chris arrived in Burnley in autumn 2023 as a prelude to establishing the Burnley Pride of Place project from spring the following year. They exhibited their own photos of Burnley in the Caravan gallery to encourage people to think and talk about the town and borough. Before opening, Jan and Chris appealed to the people of Burnley to get involved by contributing photographs, artwork, poems, stories, crafts, music, or anything that related to Burnley. Unit 55 in Charter Walk was an ideal choice for the location of the gallery, having large window space, good footfall, and its central location in the heart of Burnley. Jan Williams from the Pride of Place project explains what it's all about.
Yeah, well, welcome to Unit 55. So I can't believe we've only been in here. This time last week we had our launch evening, and it's kind of, wow, everything's grown and expanded and exploded since then. So we started off with a whole bunch of exhibits that were loans and donations of artefacts and artworks to do with Burnley. And so that was a good kickstart. So a lot of this stuff is up on the wall. Ever since then, people have been walking through the door saying, "Oh, I thought you might like this, and can I add this to the walls?" We've just met a bloke called Tony, who's a big Northern Soul fan, so he came in with his bag just covered in his patches. So I've been hearing all about the Northern Soul scene in Burnley. So I've got a note to stick on the wall about how brilliant the miners is and the bird trap and all of that. You said at one time there were 73 Northern Soul venues, including pubs and clubs in Burnley. So we think of this project as a kind of slightly subversive visitor information centre / exhibition, and we kick-start it, that's Chris and I, who are the Caravan gallery, with our own photos of just stuff that we've noticed around town, around the borough. So all around the walls here at the top, they're big colour photos that we print ourselves, and really the idea is to get people looking and thinking and talking, so they are then inspired to say, "Oh yeah, I know where that is," or "Yeah, I remember going on the train in Thompson Park." And then we say, "Well, give us your story, do you want to write something down?" And then they do, we stick it on the wall. But we're trying to show as diverse and just the most kind of, interesting and varied selection as possible of just how people see Burnley.
On one wall of the gallery is the People's Map of Burnley, where people are encouraged to add comments, stories, their own reminiscences of their experiences and memories of where they lived, what they did, who they met, and their own thoughts on the town. Burnley Pride of Place Gallery opened on the 15th of May and was a great success, engaging individuals and communities from right across Burnley and the surrounding area. The Burnley Pride of Place project has brought together a creative community of people who would be keen to see the exhibition continue and grow. Saturday the 18th of May, and Burnley filmmakers held their film festival at Higham Village Hall.
This is actually our 45th Burnley Film Festival, and it's the first time we've held it at Higham.
Normally we've used either the Burnley Youth Theatre or Padiham Town Hall, but given that we were unsure as to what sort of response we'd get because of the way some of the clubs have unfortunately folded and people have got out of the habit of travelling, we thought we'd give it a try in our club room up here at Higham.
I'd like to thank the people of Burnley Film Festival for allowing me the honour of being the judge today. It's a very high standard of films, and it was absolutely super fun. It was no effort at all, really. It was just what more could want to do on a Saturday night but watch a load of films and then watch them again and write crits about them. It's been absolutely super.
Right, good afternoon everybody, welcome to Higham Village Hall, home of Burnley filmmakers, and welcome to our 45th Burnley Film Festival. And I've been to all of them, so enjoy the show. Thank you.
Jubilee, celebrations which culminated in the lighting.
I think it's great for us to be back into a live festival after the effects of COVID on us, and it's great as well to see that there's a full house for this show.
The winner of the Best Film Club entry of the 45th Burnley Film Festival goes to Sutton Coldfield Movie Makers for their film The Vanishing Killer.
It's just the chair. It's Jules' house. It's Jules' house. I wasn't even there. Watch out for that.
No, I thought it was a really good event, and I'm glad to see that Burnley's keeping the festival and competition going. It's nice to see we've got more people coming to these events, and we need to keep them going to keep filmmaking alive and well in the amateur world.
Well, I just thought it was a really interesting day. There's such a variety of programmes, of films.
I think it's been a really good team effort. The number of people who have been involved done a magnificent job, really good. And I think we've done a lot of good work for the publicity of the club as well.
A new scheme to get Burnley residents onto two wheels began in May, when the Active Cycles pop-up shop opened, offering low-cost refurbished bicycles for all age groups. Alexis Turner is Burnley's outdoor activities coordinator. And Alexis told me how Active Cycles came about.
So my work as an outdoor town coordinator is all about getting people outside, being active, moving more, and we want to make that as easy as possible. I found through working in schools that a lot of children didn't have bikes or access to bikes. I was delivering a lot of bikeability, and they were having to borrow bikes or bringing in bikes that were too small for them or were faulty. And I was signposting them to the Active Cycle shop, which has a hub already in Accrington, but feedback was just, how we're going to get to Accrington. So the idea came about as, we need to bring the bikes to Burnley so that the residents of Burnley can access them easy and cheap, and we'll get people out moving more.
Michelle Grimes from Active Lancashire is the Active Cycles project lead, and Michelle explained some of the benefits of the scheme.
So Active Cycles has been going on for a number of years now, and what we're trying to do is get bikes that have been left at recycling centres back out to the community so that people can be active, improve their well-being, both physically and mentally, at a very low cost.
So where do the bikes come from? How do they arrive there? Do people just throw them away? Or?
Yeah, unfortunately we have a bit of a throwaway society at the moment, so we have a relationship with Lancashire County Council and we collect bikes from recycling centres across the county. We bring them to a central hub in Accrington where our mechanic will check them over, repair them and get them out to the community, schools, organisations, either via donations, which we sometimes do, or at very low cost from the bike hubs like this one in Burnley.
And what's your role in Active Cycles?
So I'm the project lead in Active Cycles, and basically that's all the logistics, making sure the bikes are coming in, keeping track of them, ensuring that they're repaired to a good standard. What we've done recently is we started working with a couple of prisons so that these bikes are going into prisons. Prisoners are learning new skills, helping us fix them and getting them back out to community at a much faster rate. Unfortunately, we've still got around 700 to 800 bikes ready to be repaired, so the more volunteering and things like that we can get people involved with, that's what we're trying to do. And just an added thing from our organisation is just around not only getting people back active on bikes, using bikes for active travel, but also the sustainability side of it. So we're saving all these bikes from landfill, which obviously is really good for the environment. It's allowing us to work towards our organisation's carbon footprint. If we can save 2,200 bikes from the landfills, get them back out and being used, that offsets our carbon footprint. And as an organisation at the minute, the sustainability side is massive. We can see the impact of climate change on sports participation. So anything that we can do, however small, and as well as getting people active, then that's what we're trying to do.
Mick Duckworth from New Ground Together explained some of the practicalities of refurbishing the bicycles they receive.
So all the bikes are donated from members of the public, other organisations, and yeah, it's mainly like a recycle scheme, so members of the public will come in and they will swap their bike for one of these bikes, as well as a set fee that's attached to each bike.
This looks quite a new one, it looks quite a modern.
Yeah, so you get a variation of bikes that come through, so you'll get, some that need quite a bit of work, so you might need to change the brake cables, the gear cables, tyres, seats, from all manner of repairs could potentially need doing. But then you get a lot that come through that are like, that have either been used. So again, no matter what, we still do the safety checks on them, make sure everything's right before they go back out the door.
Finally, Outdoor Town champion Alicia Foley explained how Active Cycles fits into Burnley's outdoor town strategy.
So when Alexis talked to us about bringing an Active Cycle pop-up shop to Burnley, we thought it was a fantastic idea, as in the last year we started an outdoor town campaign, and we want more people to use the outdoors to connect with nature and get active. And we've got so many green spaces across the town, so many cycleways, walkways, beautiful places to look at, that we wanted people to access those more, and a lot of them are free of charge as well. So it's not something that you need money for to get outdoors, and the benefits of getting outdoors are good for us physically and mentally. So we wanted lots of people to realise that the outdoors was a great place for them to be. We're open Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Saturday. Most days from 11 till 3, Saturdays from 11 till 2.
...2024 was the 80th anniversary of the D-Day landings, and the people of Burnley played their part to mark this historic day on the 6th of June 1944. Many men and women sacrificed their lives, enabling Europe to once again be free. All over Europe, many services were being held, giving thanks for the last 80 years. The Singing Ringing Tree, which overlooks our town, was the venue where many people gathered to witness the lighting of the beacon. This was part of a national chain of beacons across the country, 9:15 being the light-up time. Our beacon was last lit to celebrate our late Queen's Platinum Jubilee. Our Mayor, Councillor Shah Hussain, and his Mayoress made the long walk from the car park at Crown Point with all his mayoral regalia. After the mandatory photoshoot, Mr. Mayor was briefed on how to light the beacon. Now the countdown to lighting the beacon. The 5 lanterns around the beacon represent the 5 beaches raided by the Allies on D-Day.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Beautiful. It enables us all to enjoy the peace and freedom we have today. Let us remember those who came home wounded physically and mentally, and the friends.
I then asked our mayor how his busy day had gone.
Thank you very much. This morning we laid wreaths at the Peace Gardens in Memorial with lots of people there. So it's important that we commemorate this D-Day celebrations. We owe our lives to all those people who have who fought for us, fought for our freedoms, and it's important that we remember those lives. Okay.
And can you tell me a little bit about your charities this year, sir?
So the charities this year is Pendleside Hospice, and who cover all of Burnley and Pendle, and as well as community outreach, and who's a local charity, do a lot of work within our communities.
As the mayor mentioned earlier today, he attended a short memorial service at the Peace Gardens in Burnley.
Tell them of us and say, for your tomorrow, we gave our today.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. The Lord be with you and with your spirit.
It was then time for the laying of wreaths, led by the mayor.
Our leader, Manny, comes up with these mad ideas. So this is the first time that we've arranged this, and this hopefully is going to be a massive success and raise lots of money for the Pendleside Hospice, and give people a really good ride out in this area as well.
How many entrants have you got today?
Up to now we've got about 150, and we've got 3 separate routes. And they choose between, I think the longest one's about 26 miles. It's not a race, it's a challenge.
The Round Our Way project, run by Blaze Arts, is a collaborative project for young people based on the work of Burnley filmmaker Sam Hanna. The project brings together staff and pupils from several schools in the area to develop their understanding and practical skills in filmmaking.
Is it okay if we film you for this interview?
It is.
Do you believe...
The Round Our Way project is based at the Salon at 160 St James Street in Burnley. And I asked the director of Blaze Arts, Helen Thackeray, what the project was all about.
Yeah, so the Round Our Way project came out of 3 separate conversations that were happening. So there's a new network that's been set up recently in Burnley called the Local Cultural Education Partnership. And teachers within that network had said they'd love to have an opportunity to bring together young people from different schools to meet each other and collaborate on something. And at the same time, we know there's lots of young people in the area that love filmmaking and really interested in film. And then at the same time, we were approached by Pendle Press, who said they'd love to publish a book and share the work of Sam Hannah, who is a pioneering filmmaker from Burnley, who was making documentary films in the 1940s, 50s and 60s. And when those 3 separate conversations were happening, we thought there's an idea here for a project. What if we took inspiration from Sam Hannah's work, but worked with a new generation, and that they could think about the past, present and future of Burnley and create their own films inspired by it.
Helen, tell us a little bit more about the people who've been involved with the film.
So yeah, after we had the idea, we managed to secure funding from National Lottery Heritage Fund, the Brian Mercer Trust and the Local Cultural Education Partnership. And then we've had lots of different partners involved. So the 3 schools have been Sir John Thursby, Marsden Heights and Blessed Trinity. So a huge thank you to the teachers that got involved and helped us bring this together. But also Towneley Hall, Northwest Film Archive. We took the young people on a trip to Manchester to learn about the history of film as well. And the Salon Gallery has been an amazing partner as well. And I'm sure there's others we've not mentioned. But it's been a real community project. So yeah, the outcomes of the project was we had an exhibition at the Salon, which is on through into June. We've had a celebration event where all the young people got to bring family and teachers and see their film for the first time. And we've also had this book published thanks to Pendle Press and Heather Norris-Nicholson. And we're actually distributing free copies of this to local schools and community groups as well, so that hopefully they can take some inspiration and create their own films. We're also doing some CPD with local teachers as well to try and get filmmaking into the classroom, which we know is what Sam Hannah was also really passionate about.
The final word on the Round Our Way project goes to the young people who were involved in it.
I really liked the history that we learned about Sam Hannah and the different things that have changed and that we kept the same. What I also really liked is the different opinions that we all had.
I enjoyed getting to know people that would normally not talk to. I liked learning more in depth about how to make films. It also helps building confidence because you're always talking on the camera.
It gave me more confidence to do things outside. It just made me feel a bit more proud of myself.
I think it's got us thinking about some really interesting stuff.
I think it's shown us more about how Burnley has developed from the past, and I feel like the future will be bright for Burnley.
Sunday, the 30th of June, sees the Colne Super Soapbox Challenge, sponsored by Nelson and Colne College. Albert Road becomes a racetrack from the Town Hall to Tubs of Colne. Safety checks of the soapboxes are carried out beforehand by the scrutineer. Senior setting up is the artisan market, with plenty of street food up Church Street and Market Street. Pits for the 24 teams were on Church Street behind the huge start ramp. Large crowd gathered to see the event. Proceeds from the event went to Pendleside Hospice. Their Ghostbusters themed team were first down. Best overall team theme prize went to Brown's Ladders with their Snakes and Ladders theme.
rival managed to keep hold of things, but it's centre track, heavy.
Saffron Speedsters were overall race winners. Though there were some very fast soapboxers, the spectators loved seeing those who were never going to get into the top 10.
Shortly after 10 o'clock on Thursday evening, the 4th of July, the Life Church on Sycamore Avenue became the busiest place in town, as the church hosted the count for the Burnley constituency in the 2024 general election. The Conservatives won the Burnley seat in 2019, with a majority of 1,352 votes over Labour, and MP Anthony Higginbottom was looking to hold the seat again. The first task for the tellers was to verify the number of votes cast, under the directorship of the Chief Executive of Burnley Council and Acting Returning Officer Lukman Patel. Once the verification process was completed, the official count could begin. The main hall at the Life Church provided 6 zones, where the ballot papers were counted for the various wards in the town. Following boundary changes taking place, the Burnley constituency now included Burnley, Padiham and Brierfield. By 3 a.m, the 8 candidates for the ballot had arrived, and a picture of who had won was becoming clearer from the stacks of ballot papers located on the tables around the hall. At 3:25 a.m, the returning officer, Lukman Patel, called the candidates' agents together and gave them the final figures. And shortly afterwards, the 8 candidates were invited onto the stage for the declaration of the results and the winning candidate.
I, Lukman Patel, being the acting returning officer at the above election, do hereby give notice that the number of votes recorded for each candidate at the said election is as follows: Gordon Birdwhistle, Liberal Democrat, 9,178. Mitchell James Pryor, Independent, 169. Ryan Pias, Independent, 292. Anthony Higginbotham, the Conservative and Unionist Party, 8,058. Jack Simon Lorna, the Green Party, 1,518. Nathan Thomas McCullum, Reform UK, 7,755. David Roper, Independent, 151. Oliver David Ryan, Labour and Cooperative Party, 12,598. The total ballot papers issued were 39,849. with a turnout of 53.2%, and I do hereby declare that Oliver David Ryan is duly elected. Candidates up on stage if they want to make a speech. Thank you. So I'll start with the winning candidate.
Thank you. Let me start by thanking the returning officer, all of the excellent staff, Burnley Council, Pendle Council and the police for ensuring this has been a free and fair election. Thank you. Labour is home. Country over party, stability over chaos, public service, future over past. To those people who've put their trust in me, in this changed Labour Party, maybe for the first time, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. I will not let you down. Through this campaign, Labour have listened. I have listened. We need better public services, an NHS we can rely on, economic stability, decent housing and growth for everyone in Burnley, Padiham and Brierfield. Whether you're voting for Labour or not, I will work for you, for every person on every street. I will be a strong voice for our families, for our children, for our pensioners, our businesses and for prosperity and peace around the world, including in the Middle East and in Gaza. I want particularly to thank my election agent, Sue Graham, my organiser Hannah, our amazing team across Burnley, Padiham and Brierfield, my family, especially my parents and grandparents. I couldn't have done this without you. I want to thank Anthony for his service as Member of Parliament over the last few years. And my greatest thanks go to the people of Burnley, Padiham and Brierfield. The hard work starts now. I will not let you down. Thank you.
Oliver Ryan became the town's new MP, the Labour candidate winning with 12,598 votes and a majority of 3,420 ahead of the Liberal Democrat candidate Gordon Birtwistle. Abraham Altham was born in Burnley in 1841 and by the age of 23 had started his own grocery business. The business rapidly expanded, opening branches right across Lancashire and Yorkshire. On the 23rd of July 1874, Abraham Altham treated his loyal customers to a day trip to Blackpool, and the travel side of the Althams business was born. Today is Altham's 150th anniversary, and the company are recreating the birth of Altham's travel with a coach trip to Blackpool. The managing director of Althams, Sandra McAllister, explains why today is such a special day for the company.
Yes, well today we're marking the 150th anniversary where Abraham Altham, our founder, in 23rd of July 1874, he took some of his customers off on a day trip to Blackpool, where it was a reward for all his best customers. He was a tea merchant at the time, and he decided to reward them and take them off to a day trip to Blackpool, and that's where the travel side of Althams actually began, and it was born. So very, very proud to be marking this day. Not many companies can say they've got 150 years behind them, so yeah, we're really proud.
Thanks very much, Sandra. Have a good day.
We certainly will, thank you.
Over 50 customers boarded the coach for Blackpool that was seen off by Mr. Altham himself and staff from head office, which is based here in Burnley.
Give us a wave! Give us a wave!
And the final few words from the staff of Altham's head office.
Happy anniversary!
Tuesday, the 23rd of July 2024, sees the 20th anniversary of the Colne Grand Prix, sponsored by Fort Vale. We join it during the Sprint for Success, a 30-minute race around the 800-metre one-way system of Colne. A lap at this speed takes approximately 1 minute. Next race was the 50 minutes Women's Elite Race, which was in the 2024 National Circuit Series. This is the first time in the event's 20-year history that it has featured a women's only elite race. The last race was the Men's Elite Race, which was also 50 minutes and also in the National Circuit Series.
Early on they want to be the progress showing to everybody else. The men's
On Thursday the 8th of August, Burnley's Town to Turf redevelopment scheme was officially opened, with a ribbon cutting service by Burnley Mayor Councillor Shah Hussain. The redevelopment cost in the region of £6 million and was funded by the government's Levelling Up programme in a joint collaboration between Lancashire County Council, Burnley Council and Burnley Football Club. Work began on the scheme in June 2023 with the removal of the Kilby roundabout, followed by the closure of Yorkshire Street. The Turf Moor to Belvedere Road section was completed first, with work also carried out on renovating the culvert. 14 months later, the scheme was completed, with the installation of pedestrian crossings to replace the old subway and tree-lined piazzas providing pedestrians using the route with green spaces leading to and from the centre of town. Taking part in the opening ceremony and walking the route were council officials, representatives from Burnley Football Club and Burnley MP Oliver Ryan. Burnley filmmakers spoke to the Burnley Mayor Shah Hussain about the new scheme.
Sure, what do you think about today's, all this business that's been done over the last few years?
Yeah, it's made a huge improvement to the gateway into Turf Moor. I know local people were quite annoyed about the length of time it's took, and I want to thank them for their patience. But now that it's done, I've been past it a few times. The traffic flows really well, and it looks really nice coming into Turf Moor from the town centre.
The group of officials started their walk at Turf Moor and at the halfway point the ribbon was cut to officially open the Time to Turf scheme.
People living south of Birmingham would not agree that us up north have not had the best of the summer. Having said that, the annual Iton Hill Festival was a warm and rain-free day. It was impossible to park on Iton Hill Park Lane. With well over 30 rides and stalls to explore, the park was a sea of happy, smiling faces. The Deputy Mayor and Mayoress of Burnley were also in attendance.
A really good year this year. I've done a couple of functions, one at Ghana, one at Scott Park, and now at Iton Hill Park, and it's been quite a good year.
The events that I've been to so far here at Iton Hill, at Gano, at Scott Park, they have been outstanding examples of community, all the people getting together, coming as one to make life better for people, and that's what it's all about. That's what this mayoral experience is really for highlighting what a wonderful community we live in.
So, considering it is the middle of August and we are still waiting for our summer to arrive, the weather and the day was enjoyed by everyone.
Our final clip in Newsreel 24 is from November 16th and the switching on of the Christmas lights in Burnley Centre, with a light parade through town accompanied by the Batala Lancaster drummers.
checking in with everybody. We've all been on Radio Lancashire this afternoon, whether you like it or not. We've been heard all around Lancashire. Guys, are you ready? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Merry Christmas!
If you would like to see more of what Burnley filmmakers do, please visit our website at www.burnleyfilmmakers.org.